Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the New Tennis Era podcast. My name's Anthony Hirsch. Rublev wins his 17th title of his career, his first title, notably, since Madrid. It's also just the first time in his career that Rublev has won the same title twice in his career. Rublev played a very, very good match. I'll talk about it. Draper also played well. He was trying to do something really outrageous, which is to come back from a set down in the quarter, semifinals, and finals. It would have been the first time in Doha history that any man had done that. But Draper was not able to do that. He was a set away, but he was not able to do that. Third set was a breadstick. Draper very likely ran out of gas. We'll talk about that. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you're new, please don't forget to like the video and check out all of the other New Tennis Era podcasts and keep your eye on this podcast because I will be covering the Sunshine Double as well. Rublev served really well. Fantastic throughout. He also ended the match on an ace, 0 double faults, 11.8% ace rate, which is very good, to say the least. 68% first serves in, 67% in second serve points won, 79% first serve points won, basically just winning an overwhelming amount of points on his serve behind both first and second serve. Sometimes Rublev has struggled a little bit more on the second serve than some of the other top guys, so that's a big thing for him. He served really, really well, and that was a good thing to have in his back pocket, you know, if to have in the big moments to lift up your confidence, to know that you still have that serve backing you, which is good. Both players played well. Both players had a positive winners to errors ratio, just going through some of these stats. Also, I'll go through some of the more specific things that we saw in the match as well, but just Rublev really good, very consistent. He had 2 winners for every single unforced error that he hit. 46 winners, 23 unforced errors, which was quite good. Rublev played the big points much better, though. Much better in this match. Rublev played in general. In the second set, well, I'll talk about the second set as it happened, but in the second set, Draper had a lot of chances he was not able to put away. He managed to at the end of the set, but that was kind of the story of the match, more or less. Rublev saved 2 out of 3 break points. Draper saved 4 for 7, so those are some of the bigger stats that I want to talk about, and now I want to talk about what we really saw in the match and what really happened. But yeah, Rublev definitely served very well. In the first set, both were playing really high quality with a good rhythm on their serve. Neither player was getting any kind of traction in the return games. When they were returning, they weren't really getting that much done on the return of serve. They're just really attacking with a lot of just impressive winners. Like I said, staying on the front foot, keeping the tempo from serving and staying in a good rhythm, serving well, making first serves in, getting good +1, staying in control. But yeah, 5-6 in the first set was really the first opportunity that a returner got in a service game, and Rublev pounced on the opportunity once he got it. I will say Draper played a pretty poor game at this point. He really let Rublev open up the court at one point, even though he didn't need to. So he left the court open. I think it was a forehand cross court that wasn't even particularly good. Allowed Rublev to hit a down the line forehand that opened up the court. He had a double fault. He had a heavy-handed drop shot when really he could have went for it instead and hit a pretty aggressive topspin shot. And then on set point, he hits a good approach shot, does Jack, but he comes into Rublev's forehand, and you kind of expect Andre to make it. And Andre hits a just really, really good forehand pass, clean winner. And that's the set over just like that. Just no chance for Jack. And yeah, I don't know, just letting Rublev have a chance and giving him gifts. And when Rublev is on, that's why Rublev's been basically in the top 10 without stop for 5 straight years, because he will pounce on any little things that you give him. And I really think that was the story of the match, that Jack, when the pressure was on, his level dropped and his IQ and strategy dropped for playing points. Also, he kind of lost the rhythm that was so solid for him throughout the set on the serve. His serve toss even felt like it was getting away from him in the last few points. It could also be down to nerves. That could definitely get in the way of rhythm and serving rhythm. But whatever it was, it kind of got away from Jack at the end, and It's not the first time we've seen that with Draper, but still, I mean, it's a good tournament anyway to get to the final, and yeah, it happens every now and again, but a good set for Rublev to win and an awesome reaction for him. Just a huge reaction in a positive way from Rublev, which is what you want to see. Obviously meant a lot to him, this event. Like I said, his first title since Madrid. And the other thing I will say about Rublev is that his vertical movement was very impressive in this match, up and down the court. Sometimes I think Jack, particularly in this match, and Rublev isn't usually the fastest guy of the top players, so sometimes I think that people can want to test his speed a little bit more. But he was getting to a lot of Jack's drop shots impressively, and I think what Jack wants to do sometimes is to, particularly against Rublev, but to really mix in the drop shot, because like he'll hit his huge shots, which we're used to with Jack, but then he'll hit the drop shot, which will pull Rublev in. It is also a little bit hard to hit a drop shot, I reckon, against Rublev, because he stands so close in on the baseline most of the time and just stays attacking on the baseline. But yeah, I was impressed by Rublev's vertical movement in this match, moving up and down the court. Jack, definitely part of his game plan was to hit the drop shot. He hit it a lot, but Rublev was... his win percentage when Jack hit the drop shot, or just when he made Rublev move forward into the court, Rublev was doing really well at that, so I wanted to give Rublev his props at that. Alright, second set. So, so like I said, just basically first set, felt like Jack kind of lost his rhythm, got nervy at the end, good set from both, but just let Rublev have a few chances at the end, and that was basically that. Second set, not entirely dissimilar, but I will say Draper, a lot of chances to break Rublev, none of which he took, but I think he went like 0 for 7 or 0 for, I don't remember exactly, but he, or I don't think it was with break points, but like big points throughout the set, he was losing all of like the biggest ones, like 30 all points, deuce points, break points. For a while, he was losing a lot of those. But his return quality was fantastic. He had a 9.2 return quality in the second set compared to 5.2 in the first set. So his return really lifted up. Jack put everything into the second set, and he really was playing very well. But Draper plays one very high quality game. A few slightly wayward, kind of almost forced errors from Rublev. That just missed the lines, but good shots and pressure from Jack. Just impressive shots, depth, width. A few of the shots, he's really throwing his body into the shots to stay on the front foot. I think it's underrated, the athleticism that it can take to actually stay aggressive and on the baseline, which is what Draper and Rublev do all the time, just constant pace generation on the baseline. And yeah, I mean, to really stay on the front foot and stay solid and keep the ball deep rather than get on defensive, Jack really had to... he was really putting his body into all of the shots and making sure he stays there. And I don't know, I think... this set, I think, took like everything Jack had left in him, and unfortunately, I don't think he had that much left for the third set. But here's kind of what happened. Yeah, it was 0-1. This was the important game, 0-1. In a set, any game can be kind of the most important game of the set. I reckon that this was the most important game of the set. And just slightly unlucky, Draper, at times here, because his shots were like slightly going out, just barely not catching the line. Rublev's were just barely catching the line. But I feel like throughout the match when Draper was getting into pressure points, I think he was just taking unnecessary risks. Like, he was playing smart most of the match, and then whenever he'd get into a big point, he'd just make some unnecessary thing. Like when he hit a heavy-handed drop shot earlier in the match. Like when he hit a heavy-handed drop shot earlier in the match, where was it? I believe in the first set. Yeah, first set at 5-6. Like he gets broken in the third set. I don't know. I feel like the pressure and the nerves of it all kind of got to Draper at those moments. But what happened was here specifically, after Rublev basically barely managed to get to break point, after being down 40-30 in this game, Rublev was able to hit a cross-court backhand return winner because Draper served and volleyed for no reason. Draper came in and served and volleyed for literally no reason, and it was a terrible serve and volley. He was in no man's land. I don't even think he got to the service line. No reason to serve and volley, kind of rushed it, and I don't know why he did it. Rublev, fantastic return, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why in the world, but I think, honestly, just, like I said, getting too nervous in pressure points, and the IQ and strategy and points definitely lessened in those moments, and yeah, it was a break to Rublev. 0-3, Rublev gets his second break for a double break, some deep shots from Rublev, some deep returns to Jack's forehands, which he just mishit right away. And yeah, I just feel like Rublev generally played the big points better than Jack. And yeah, I don't know, since 6-5 in the first set, when really it seemed very even, like both guys were not getting any kind of, what's the word, getting any kind of leeway into each other's service games, I felt like it felt like Jack needed to force a little bit more to get back in it, and that was largely to do with his stamina and energy, I felt like. Rublev was really locked in with a very, like, kind of stronger, consistent level and rhythm, and it was a big ask for Draper to win 3 matches in a row from a set down, especially against Rublev, to win the title. So I just, maybe Jack slightly ran out of gas. Still a pretty high quality match, but yeah, just Jack running out of steam. I will also mention that in the second set, Draper won nearly 40% of points on the return of serve versus just 11% for the first set. He really maximized his game in the second set and was only able to win it 7-5. I think Draper put his all into just making sure he gets that second set, you know, getting better on the return, doing better in the rallies. But overall, it was Rublev who was winning the rallies. This is the last stat I'll throw at you. Rublev won 66% of 4-6 shot rallies, and the most common outcomes of those were forced errors from Rublev, with just a consistently tough weight of shot from the get-go, even if he's not going straight up for winners. So yeah, 66% of 4-6 shot rallies, Rublev was winning them, and yeah, just right from the get-go, just really tough shots from Rublev. Just shows that he was playing at a high quality, and he was the one that was able to take control and not Draper. If Draper had a little bit more in the tank, then maybe it would have been different. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. Some very impressive winners in the first set. Draper did well, even though he probably should have put away some chances early in the second, but he did well to break at the end of the day. But it was all Rublev in the third set, who, like I said, served well. He moved well. He was playing consistent, very consistent, and a good weight of shot as well. And Draper was just not able to stick with him and be the one that took control. So essentially, that's why. Also, he didn't really have the drop shot, and he wasn't really winning points at the net or anything like this. So Rublev was the one that was able to win those kind of rallies as well, and kind of cut off the options from Draper. And yeah, that's why, and also Rublev played the big points better. So that's why Rublev was able to get the win at the end of the day. Played a smarter, more consistent, better serving match, and against Draper, that definitely means a lot. And also definitely means a lot that he was able to take control rather than Draper's aggressive backhands and forehand. So Rublev gets another title. It's exciting. I'm happy for Andre. This is a guy who's literally been in the top 10 for a consecutive period of time outside of, I think, August of 2022, when he dropped out for like 2 weeks to number 11. Other than that, he's been in the top 10 for like 5 straight years, if not more than that. So it's good to see him back kind of at a high level again. I'm hoping we see a similar thing with Medvedev. And hopefully Rublev can kind of peak at the French Open. It would be awesome to see him get to a first semifinal at Roland Garros. I tend to think that's his best chance to get to a semifinal at a Slam, in my personal opinion. I think he should have already gone to one at Roland Garros back in whatever year Cilic got to the semis. I think it was 21, 22? Something like that. So 2022 maybe. But yeah, so overall, good match, and Andre gets through. It'll be interesting to see how Andre performs. Never really performs that well at the Sunshine Double at all, but at least on clay, if he's got a random Masters 1000 on clay waiting for him. I don't know what to expect from Rublev, but hopefully he keeps it up. He's a good addition to the tour, and I hope he hasn't really reached his peak yet. I was worried earlier this season. I remember thinking Rublev might be past his prime. He had a great run. It's a good career, but hopefully I was wrong about that one. Hopefully he can pick it up. He's now tied in titles with Dominic Thiem, currently Alcaraz, even though Alcaraz is like 10 years younger. Now Alcaraz 21, Rublev's like 26, 27. So that's kind of funny. But anyway, 17 titles is a lot. So good stuff from Andre. And then also in other news this week, Sebastian Baez won his 7th title in Rio over Alexander Muller. I'm not going to do a full analysis of the match, but despite the 6-2, 6-3 scoreline, I thought that it had some good rallies, actually. Muller is a talented guy. I'm happy to see him have by far the best start of his career to a year ever in his own career, because he's gone to 2 ATP finals. Baez 7 titles is insane. He's won 6 finals in a row. He has the most clay court wins of any player on tour since the beginning of 2022. And, you know, it's what you'd expect from Baez. Just good placement, angles, consistent, aggressive ball striking, just very speedy around the court. And yeah, Baez was saying just play 1 point at a time. That's what he was doing. He won the big points, played smart, in control, locked in. It is not easy to win 6 titles in a row. That's how he's been able to do it. Just smart, locked in. And that's how he was able to do it. And yeah, I thought Baez played a really, really good match. Some great lobs. Just some great depth of shot consistently, even from tough defensive positions. Got a great forehand, Baez, and he just did not make it easy for Muller. Took his chances down break points as well. Yeah, good stuff from Baez. So shout out to Sebastian Baez, because he's been playing really, really well, and his defense to offense on the clay is just really, really tough. So for anybody who's like outside the top 20, 25 in the world, Baez is just a nightmare to play on clay. So I'll just put that way, and that is a big part of why he's been able to win 7 titles. So back-to-back in Rio, by the way, which is a 500 event. All right, that's it from me. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning into the pod. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and tune in for my breakdown next week on Dubai and other stuff that will be going on that week. And then obviously Sunshine and Doubles on the horizon as well. I'll see you guys at the next one.